Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Saturday, October 31st, 2015. Ra here in the Lynn-Body-Mind, Glenn in the Jamie Body-Mind, other teammates in other aspects of the physical dimension, all of us in the physical dimension and in the subatomic from the perspective of the spirit world viewers. There's so much going on, we do not know what we're supposed to highlight in the videoed portion of the effort, so we're going with the foundational instruction, which is to do what is ours to do in every single moment, in all dimensions, to manifest the divine plan. The data clearly showing what's needed is to provide a collective restart, and we're honoring the series of nested deadlines that we have been given, those deadlines beginning on November 15th. And with that, it begins. My attention is brought to these small trees that are growing too close to each other, and how some of them must be sacrificed or none of them will ever get big.
That's true.
And that's significant. What do I know? I know that Pan has been struggling to find what he is supposed to be doing right now.
That's true.
And that many of the options that have been presented to him seem too hard. And we've all been in that place where our assignments seem impossibly difficult, so I'm not looking down my nose at him.
That's true.
And that he seems to have chosen from all of those options the one that says basically, go rescue your best friends who are obviously being held hostage or captive or something like that.
Yes, that's true.
And that they are in thing one and they're somewhat lower than the center and kind of off to one side. So Pan seems to be gathering a group of people to go with him. We said don't go alone, or we didn't say it, the channeling was don't go alone. And he isn't. He's gathering a team, and he seems better than he was yesterday.
That's true.
But not as good as he was 2 weeks ago.
That's true. The first thing I notice is that fully half of the people Pan has assembled shouldn't be going on this mission.
Oh, good point. Pan. Would you like to help him? What kind of people are they? Are they nature realms presences or spirit world presences?
They all seem to be nature realms presences.
This is so shocking to me. This really flies in the face of my preconceived ideas about the nature realms, but this keeps coming up.
That's true. But they don't intend to do the job. No,
that's true. They might be gawkers.
It could be rubberneckers. They just want to see a disaster happen.
Those people over there are going to make it worse, Pan.
That's true. It's better to have a smaller crew than a big crew that isn't committed to the project.
He seems to hear us and to give a thumbs up.
That's true.
And to say that something like that explains something.
That's true.
And so he seems to be basically
sending
saying,
them
yes,
home.
Nothing for you to look at here.
That's
nothing
true.
for you to look at here.
And they're turning and going
There's
away.
someone else who's supposed to be with you, Pan, who
That's
isn't.
true.
There are others who are supposed to be with you. It
Feels
could be those smaller nature realms presences who have been stepping up in leadership roles inside of their smaller communities.
That's true.
To simply have a really big collection of nature realms presences, even if they are mosquitoes and ring-necked snakes and crawfish.
That's true.
Just call to everybody who has leadership capabilities and wants to do something to help, and to understand that today could be the day we die, but before we do, we can do this really one good thing for the nature realms.
That's true. And that seems to get a better response.
Yes.
And with purer intent.
Much purer intent.
Yes, the intent of that first group was not very good.
No, it wasn't. And so what we know is how we word the invitation really changes the responses that we get.
That's true.
And so to try for the highest calling first, it seems like Pan thought, no one will respond if I say, today could be the day we die, but before we do, let's do this one good thing for the nature realms.
That's true.
And so he didn't even try it. He thought, well, who's going to respond to that? But those people that you have with you, right around you, Pan, make sure that the invitation also rings with them, because they feel like they're not bad people to have with you. And we remember how it is with Black Wolf, how it was with Black Wolf when he was joining our team.
That's true.
A call to help the greater good wouldn't have gotten Black Wolf off the couch.
That's true.
He isn't this. He is a different person now than he was then.
That's true.
But he was really good to have on the team. I just got hit in the face by a leaf. He was really good to have on the team. And to word the invitation in such a way as to attract the people who will get the job done. So you need two invitations. You need something that will get the little people coming, and they understand they might get tromped on.
Yes, that's true.
And also toward the invitation that will get those who want to step up in a bigger way.
That's true.
It feels like his group is better.
Better. Either way, it seems to be important toward the invitation, so the people who show up will be people you actually want to work with.
That is a good point. I think what's being highlighted is the importance of the question.
That's true.
Ask the wrong question, get the wrong answer. Word the invitation wrong, we get the wrong people.
That's
How we
true.
ask questions really, really matters. How to rescue these friends in such a way as to complete thing one's destiny, activate him into his destiny by November 15th, 2015, and provide a collective restart by January 17th, 2017.
That's true.
That's the way to get a group that works, Pan. Now, he'll either do or not do
That's
what he's
true.
supposed to do. We now remove our focus from him. Godspeed, Pan.
Good luck. Seeing a hand from Pete the Protista,
Yes.
and it feels like I'm sorry things were weird a little while ago, and I'd like to talk about what happened so I can understand.
Please, we would like to talk about it too. Just start talking about it. Almost doesn't matter what you say.
So he's saying, last night I was feeling really a lot of pressure because I wanted to be a good Nature Realms leader and felt like the effort wasn't really moving forward, and I wasn't clear on which direction to move forward, and so I just picked one and started moving, and it clearly wasn't the right direction, and that became clear pretty quickly. But then I was already moving in that direction, and I didn't know how best to deal with the situation because I had all these people with me, and it felt like I would look like a weenie if my first day on the job I said, okay, stop, this is wrong, we have to turn around. But I knew we had to turn around, and so instead of doing either, going forward or turning around, I just stopped moving. And then things fell apart pretty quickly, and the people who were following me wandered off and made the situation worse, and Anemone felt sick. And it was my fault, and I felt bad about that, and I'd like to not do that again.
Well, Pete, what you're describing sounds like something that every single person who's tried to step into a leadership role can certainly relate to.
Yeah, I, Glenn, can say that that's very true.
Yeah. I rock and say that that is a very common situation. And so what we remember is that acknowledging our errors and correcting them right away is the best way to deal with a mistake. And in fact, what a beautiful leadership opportunity it is when we realize we're goofing to say, hold on, I'm doing something wrong here. This isn't going to work. Give me a second. Let me get clear about what's going on. Okay, the camera doesn't need to be here. It should be over there. We're heading in this direction, but that's incorrect. We should be going through the other door, the other direction.
That's true.
To just acknowledge it actually sets a beautiful example for your followers in how to deal with the mistakes that they themselves are making in their lives, just like we're making mistakes in our lives.
Oh, that's
Sentient presences are error-making machines, and it's fine to make mistakes. What matters is acknowledging them right away and correcting them, cleaning up our messes right away.
That's true.
Does that help?
He's asking, like, why is this so hard to do that? Because I knew in the moment that what I was supposed to do was stop, correct it, move in a better direction, but I didn't do it. I knew I was supposed to. Why is it so hard to just admit that we were wrong and change?
Well, we're creatures of habit. Sentient presences are creatures of habit. Do you have a habit of admitting that you are wrong and changing?
No, I don't think so.
So this is just establishing a new habit. The first time we try to do anything, we stink at it. Have you ever tried to break any unhelpful habit?
Yes.
How did it go right at first?
Really badly. Super
Right.
badly.
So not acknowledging errors is simply an unhelpful habit, like any other unhelpful habit.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yeah. It helps a lot, actually. Oh, so I see what I could do for next time is talk to an Anemone about it beforehand and say, I've seen that I do this bad thing of not acknowledging errors and stumbling in a bad direction. If you see me doing that, are you willing to pause me and say, whoa, Pete?
Something's off.
What I was worried was that I was going to somehow turn that into an excuse to not step up into leadership positions, which I know I really want to do.
So hold on, you were afraid you would make a bad choice?
Yeah.
But the bad choice is just an error. The being afraid business, this part,
That's true.
what is causing you to feel disempowered here? You're in charge of your choices. We're each in charge of our choices. We're masters of our destinies. We can't
Wow.
change the events that life hands us. We don't get to say what events are handed to us, but we have total control as to how we respond to those events.
That's true.
Where does do you feel disempowered?
Well, I know that I've used things as excuses before and wasn't labeling that way at the time, didn't say to myself, now I'm going to use this as an excuse.
Right.
But then later on looked back on it and
Right.
realized, whoa, I totally used that as an excuse and I weenied out. But in the moment, it never feels that way. It always feels like this is a completely rational thing that I must do.
Yes, you have described it beautifully. That's how it is for all of us.
And so that's what I was afraid of, the moment where I look back and realize that I weenied out.
Falling into another old habit that's also unhelpful. That was what you didn't want to do. Yes,
Yes.
so we're engaged in a process of making new habits. How wonderful it is. When we focus on what we don't want to do,
Yes.
it can paradoxically call it into our experience of life. And so it's actually more helpful to focus on what we do want to do. What we want to do is choose motivation. We want to choose motivation. So rather than saying, I don't want to choose excuses, to say, I want to choose motivation. I want to choose motivation. Motivation to do what? Motivation to do what I said I would do. Integrity matters more than we think it does. And number 2, motivation to do what's mine to do right now by my soul plan. But first, if I said I was going to do something, to clean that up first, to really do it. Do you have any other open commitments you've made that haven't been kept?
I feel like I do.
Sometimes they're outdated, like expired food.
Yes, I feel some of those, like no longer relevant, no longer good.
Flush them, right?
That's true.
And sort out the ones that are still open and on the table, not expired.
I need to make that right, what happened yesterday. I need to track those people down and explain what happened.
And try again.
And try again.
Ask if they're willing to give you another chance. Say, I see how I messed that up. I'd like to try again. Are you willing to give me another chance?
That's true.
I'm willing to give you another chance, Pete. I think you have leadership potential. And you know why I think that?
Why?
Because it's less than a day later and you have come to us for help with this. We didn't have to hunt you down like the dog you would be if you ran away. You came to us.
That's true.
It bodes well for you as a leader, Pete.
That's good to hear. And
I believe in you, Pete. I think you have greatness inside of you. You've been searching for truth for a really long time. You have greatness inside of you.
thank you. And now I should go round up all of those people and get them back in one place again, and maybe we can try again.
Before you track them down, do your best to get as clear as you can get about what you're supposed to do with them. And sometimes clarity eludes, and there's nothing we can do about that other than get started. But to not try would be to skip the step. Does that make sense?
Yes. Frontier feels really sad
Yes.
Really sad. And it
What's
doesn't...
going on below Frontier?
Oh.
Have they been hurt? It feels to me as like somebody has poured oil on the water that they were living in.
That's true.
Just someone saying, I get to throw my garbage any place I want.
I'm just dumping it.
Right.
Not realizing that everything is sentient, everything is alive, and everything has value.
It's like those little bugs could be as important as you are, friend. You
As
don't
it turns
know.
out. That's true. They don't feel all dead.
No.
But they're in bad shape, and
They
Frontier is saying, I feel helpless. I feel helpless to help them.
You can tune to intent to do the work as assigned to wiser minds above, to specifications in every moment. And then something may or may not occur to you of, oh my goodness, I could do this. If nothing occurs, you can keep tuning.
That's true. And running cables.
And tune into and through their space, not just tuning it at your level, but
That's
through
true.
their space. Tune their space. It'll clear their air. Hold sacred space for them, in other words. So to Frontier, we say at that level, around below Frontier, call to see if there are any other presences at that level, that subatomic level, who are interested in discovering what's true, in searching for truth. And you can call vibrationally with this bifurcation all those who want to live the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to the center, and all others flung away. And you'll see how quickly you create a clear space for those smaller presences. I feel like Frontier gets it and is doing it.
It's true. It's like we were saying for Pan, the way you word the invitation
Matters.
means so much.
Really matters.